What's up?
What's up guys, welcome to another video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about Fujin. So right now I'm going to be focusing on what I think undisputably is his best variation, and that's his second one, Cloud Walker. I honestly don't think his first variation's all that good. I mean, it has combos, but then again so does this one. Now the third variation has some potential as a zoner, but overall I think this one's better. So the main question that I want to answer in this video today: how good is Fujin? Is he like really great, like in the S tier? Is he mid tier, low tier, whatever? I personally think if he's played correctly at the highest level, he has the potential to breach that S- territory, but for sure he's definitely A+ from what I can see. So for this video, I'm going to be focusing on Fujin's weaknesses and strengths. He has a lot of things that seems like mix-ups, which are actually not mix-ups. You can option select a lot of things that Fujin does, but if done properly the correct way, which I will also show, he can really be a strong character. So I'm going to be breaking down all his strings, breaking down his special moves, and then I'm going to start going over all the option selects you can do against Fujin, and then I'm going to show you the real situations he actually puts you in and show you how good his pressure actually is if done correctly. Now to understand what I'm talking about, I highly recommend that you guys watch my Abare video and Eli Tech video. So just in case you guys haven't seen those videos, the links are in the description. So for a quick rundown, Eli Tech is the way you deal with staggers. So it's a quick example. Fujin does 1-1. So the mix up here is he going to stagger the 1 or go to the full string. What you can do in MK11 is you can press a button at the same time you block something. So you press down poke at the same time the second hit of the string comes out. And if the Fujin plays stagger just the 1, your poke would come out. If he does the 1-1, you would block both attacks and not get hit. So that's the general gist of what the Eli Tech is. And in a Abare situation, it's basically when you force your opponent to block anything, usually from -3 to +3, to where you're outside of poke range, and where both of you have to guess on the next appropriate option, whether to poke bait, whether to backdash to keep pressuring, press buttons, or whatever. It's like a certain situation you put your opponent in, and you try the best to make that situation favorable for you. These are like high-level concepts. I will be referring to them in the video. So I do recommend you watch those two videos so you understand them better, so you can better understand what I'm explaining in this video. But if not, just keep those basic concepts I just said in mind and you pretty much get the gist of what's going on. So first things first, I want to just cover his basic strings. So he has this string 1-1 up 4. This is a pretty decent string. -4 is not too bad. It leaves you at a pretty decent spacing, and it is a punish / crushing blow counter hit string, to where when it gets to crushing blow it makes the opponent go behind you. So like if you're in the corner, it's good to throw this out there to try to get a crushing blow and put your opponent back in the corner. And also if you stagger 1-1, it leads to a pretty good Abare situation, but we'll get to that. Okay, then his 1-2. His 1-2 is pretty similar. You're going to want to use 1-2 for your standing punishes in most of his variations. And then if he completes the string, it's not all that good. Now I wouldn't personally recommend you guys complete the string. You're -5, there's no kind of Abare situation there, there's no real mix up. You're in their face and then you're forced to guess a strike throw. So I would only maybe finish it if you have a chip out situation, but otherwise I wouldn't finish it. Okay, then his back 1 won everything in this whole string. This string is really good. Now there's a lot of little mix-ups that it has that are not real mix-ups that I found a lot of option selects to deal with, which I will show you guys. But if utilized properly, this string is really amazing. Basically the gist of it is, if you do it up close, all your options can pretty much be option selected, but if you space it properly, you have a lot of real things that you can do. Okay, then this next string is pretty useless. 2-3, always punishable, -11. You complete the string because it's the dial-in. It's -17, it's not that good. Then the other version of it, this has a flawless block gap in it, but even though it has a gap in it, it's only -4. So doing this, you either get full combo punished because he flawless blocks you, or you lose your turn anyway and it's not that much pushback, so it's not that good. Okay, this string, anything that involves back two is amazing. Like look how far it goes. He can make it go closer as well, but like this move is really strong, really good at keeping spacing. He can cancel this, like this special move for example, really keep the space, keep himself safe, so it's a really good neutral tool. Now this string is really good. It's 2-4-3. Now it has a flawless block gap in it, which I'll get to that. You can actually option select flawless blocking that and dealing with the stagger. But then again, the stagger also has an Abare situation set up within it. Alright, and this string, his slide is really good. It goes under mid projectiles, and if the last hit of it hits by itself, that is a crushing blow. So it's a really good way to get under your opponent to get around zoning. So if you hit them with the slide, you can actually get a full combo in most variations. Okay, so for this string, the forward 4-3, it's pretty decent. The stagger is -3, it's not so bad. And this string does have a crushing blow, but you have to hit the overhead part twice, and the second time you hit it, you have to hit it by itself. Like, you know, you get this combo with the string once, and then you have to make the first part whiff, and then hit him with the second part by itself, and then it gets a crushing blow, then you get like a little pop-up. It's kind of a hard crushing blow to get, to be honest, but it could happen. The only bad thing is that this move does have a flawless block gap, but I mentioned this in my Eli Tech video. Any stagger that has a flawless block gap in it, it's a really good stagger, because the whole point of Eli Tech is to poke at the same time you block something. But since you have to wait so long for the attack to come out because there's a pretty decent gap to where you can flawless block, the opponent would be able to poke you first if they were to just stagger and go for a poke. Alright, so for this variation of Fujin, he has his gun. His gun's pretty decent, you know, it's a very basic projectile, but he can make it go diagonal or whatever if he spends the bar, so it's pretty cool. Nothing special, but it's something to throw you off in zoning, so maybe it stops you from jumping. Okay, then he has this tornado move. He can go backwards, forward, or whatever. So even though you don't have the EX version in this variation, you can still get combos with it. You just gotta be a little bit creative. So you wanna hit the opponent with the later frames of this move, like as he's coming down. So that's actually pretty useful. He does get meterless combos. Now this next move, Warp Needle, this crap is amazing as long as you're not fighting against a Sub-Zero or like Liu Kang or something. It's a really strong move, very difficult to punish if you space this out properly. Like, you're not punishing this if you space this out properly. Like, he's -16, but look how far away he is. So unless you have Sub-Zero slide or Liu Kang's fly kick or something like that, Fujin has a lot of ways he can make himself safe, and I'll go over the specific ways and how he can do that. So then he has his wind parry. Now I don't know how good this move actually is, but it's something, so it's not bad that he has it. And then this move, Skywalker. Skywalker is pretty cool. Now he has some mix-ups with this that are not really mix-ups, like he can do a dive kick or he can do like an EX dive kick. But I'm going to show you that you can option select both options and get a punish either way. And through the enhanced Skywalker, he is able to get some combos. I don't want to say like Skywalker, like, you know, from Star Wars. It's Skywalker. That's how I assume you pronounce it, Skywalker. And you can do stuff like this to get a combo with it. So to be honest, this character isn't that hard to play. Just the part about him that's tough are his combos. Like, his combos require high execution, meter management. So I guess he's a little bit hard to play, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it. But the main thing is his combos and spacing. You want to space his buttons properly to get the max benefit of it. And for his combos, you just want to practice the execution. Honestly, for me, like 30 minutes to an hour, I was able to get it fairly consistent. But if you want to get it more consistent, you have to practice the combo, go online, get used to landing it in pressure situations and whatnot. But just give it some time and you will master it. So let me show you an example of his B&B. The part that's kind of annoying about that combo is it's canceling out of like this move, because this is a dial-in string. You have to press it at the right moment, use defensive bar to cancel, then, you know, do this into this. It's like kind of an annoying combo to do, but just practice at it and you'll be able to master it. It just has many different situations. It's a different combo if he's in the corner. It's different if he hits you with back one from far, different if he hits you from close or whatever. So just practice it and you'll get it. Okay, so before I show you why I think he's so godlike, let me tear him down a notch. Let me show you all the option selects I was able to find for this character, because he has a lot of gimmicks. If you don't know about all the gimmicks, you're gonna think this character's freaking amazing. Like, bro, how do I deal with this crap? This is ridiculous. I have to guess and guess and guess and guess. But no. Most of it is fake crap that you can deal with. He has a lot of real situations, a lot of Abare situations he can utilize, which makes him strong up close. But you have to know the mind game behind it. You have to know the fake stuff, the fake flawless block, mix up stuff. You can option select most of it. So let's get started. Alright, so the first OS we're going to cover is how to deal with these dive kick shenanigans. Because he can just do a regular dive kick or he can enhance it. And he can kind of delay when he enhances the dive kick move, so it's kind of hard to punish. Now both are punishable, whether he just does a regular one or the enhanced. You can punish both options. It's just difficult to be able to punish both at the same time because it's kind of a mix-up but not really a mix-up. So in order to deal with both, you want to use Eli Tech. So basically you press your button to punish at the same time you would block the first of the follow-up hits. And just remember this, you initially want the crouch block, because if you notice, the follow-up has 2 hits to it. If you're stand blocking, you have to block both those hits. If you're crouch blocking, you only have to block the first one and the second one whiffs. So when you do your Eli Tech and they decide to enhance it, and you're crouch blocking initially, and if you time it correctly, your button will not come out, because that's how the Eli Tech works when they do the enhanced version, and the second part will whiff, and then you can get your punish. And of course, if they don't enhance it, then you'll still get your punish anyway. So let me show you how that works. Okay, so the next thing a lot of Fujins are going to do in this variation is use this move. This move is, like I said, it's very difficult to punish. At certain ranges, some characters can't punish it, but every single character can punish it if he does it right in your face. And the thing is, this has a follow-up to it that's safe, right? He can enhance it, has a really good pushback, and it's only -1, but it does have a flawless block gap. But the thing is, the flawless block gap that it has, it's very slow actually, so you can actually completely react to it. So basically what you want to do is, when you see Fujin do this move, you want to keep an eye for the flash. As soon as you see the flash, you stop blocking and go for the flawless block. And then it works the same way the other way around. If you do not see a flash, immediately go for your punish. Now it depends on your character. Some characters, like I said, like Sub-Zero could probably punish this at any range. But let's say if Fujin likes to do this in your face. That is the wrong string to do it. He has some strings where he can't do that. Look how close he is. Cassie can very easily punish him. So I'm going to show you now, but you guys can practice OSing both options. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but you honestly have a lot of time to punish this. Like, even one of the times I was just doing it just now, I felt like I was late, like I reacted a little bit late, but I still was able to get the punish. So you have plenty of time to react to it. And of course, if you know they space it in a way to where you can't punish it, just look out if they do the flawless block version, and just make sure you flawless block it and get your punish. Okay, so the next string I want to talk about that way you can OS is his 2-4. So his 2-4, he can either stagger this, or he can go into a flawless blockable plus frame. Now I've mentioned this earlier, but you know staggers that have a flawless block gap are very good staggers. But the thing with this particular stagger, you can actually react to it. Because you can see this, how long it takes for Fujin to move. This is a very slow recovery. So you can literally react to whether or not the follow-up string will come out. So if Fujin were to try to do this stagger and then go for a poke or go for a grab, you can very easily react in time to beat him out of it. And at the same time, you can always be ready to flawless block this. So if the Fujin player were to try to use that stagger like that, that's not going to work. Now, if you're doing this option select, you are vulnerable to being poke baited, which is why that stagger does lead to an Abare situation, but we'll get to that when we get to Fujin's pros. So the next string I want to talk about is his back 1-1. Now this string, if spaced out properly, the stagger is more or less legit, but if he does it right in your face, you could always Eli Tech this, sometimes even get a punish if he staggers it, and always never get hit by the follow-up stuff. And I'm also going to mention an option select and how you deal with all of his follow-up options. Because the thing with the string is, if you stagger this, it's really minus at -14, so it's unsafe, but of course you're scared of the follow-up, which can lead to a lot of damage and whatnot. So it makes it seem like a good stagger, but like I said, like if he's right in your face, you can just Eli Tech it. The thing is though, when he's far away like this, your poke's not going to reach them and they can very easily poke bait you. So again, if he spaces it properly, it's an Abare situation. But anyway, let me show you how the Eli Tech works. So if he does it in your face, it's not real, it's fake, and you can very easily deal with it. So now I want to go over all his follow-up options he likes to do after this string. Now, the only one that's safe against most characters is this. Most characters have to respect it. I mean, look how much space it is. Like I said, only characters like Sub-Zero and Liu Kang can actually punish it. Everyone else, they have to pretty much eat it. So some of the other things they may do, they may, you know, try to go into this, the full string. It's already minus 16 at the same range, but you can actually flawless block it, dash in and get a punish. Makes it really minus when you flawless block it. Sometimes they like to go into the gun. That's not real. If you have any kind of forward advancing special move, you can duck the gunshot and immediately go and punish. Or if you have like amazing normals, Cassie could sometimes punish it at certain ranges. So this is the other thing they may do in like this variation specifically. So they go for those kind of air shenanigans, but that is actually a guess. As soon as you see them go up like this, it is a guess if they're going to cancel or if they're going to go into their dive kick. It's very hard to like deal with both options, so that in itself is a guess. But again, if you read they're going to go for this, you know how to punish both options I just showed you. And otherwise, if you think they're going to cancel, you just press buttons to deal with it. So I'm going to have Fujin do all three options. I'm going to have him shoot his gun, have him do the full string so I can flawless block it, and have him do the air jump cancel thing. Because the way you do it is, every single time you see him do the string, once you establish that he does not stagger after doing the Eli Tech, assuming he's close to you, I'll get to why you shouldn't do it if he's at max range. You just go for the flawless block, you see him jump in the air, you just react to it, you see him shooting his gun, you can just react to it. Since the string is so long and drawn out and it takes forever for you to actually be able to finally flawless block the follow-up, you have plenty of time to react to the other options. So you pretty much see how that works. Now I couldn't always get the punish on like the gunshot, but like if you had a character like Sub-Zero or Liu Kang, you can definitely get a punish on that. You have plenty of time to react. It's just kind of far, so not a lot of characters can punish it. But you can very easily dash up or do some kind of normal to establish that it's your turn at the very least. And you can see in the other options, you just flawless block. You see him do the jump and try to land and grab or press a button. You just press buttons first and you'll beat him out. So that's pretty much it for Fujin's weaknesses. As you can see, he has a lot, but I'm going to show you right now. If you do his pressure properly, he actually has amazing pressure, amazing Abare situations. So he's really strong. You just have to have good spacing and know what you're doing. So let's talk about his 1-1 or his 1-2, because they're pretty much the same. Like, look at the spacing, right? He's -4, but that is a very good spacing to have. So basically, he's outside of poke range. So if the opponent were to try to do Eli Tech, because remember, this has a follow-up to it, but because of the spacing he is able to do a backdash before you're able to do an Eli Tech, like forward 4 for Cassie, down poke, or whatever. So it allows him to get poke bait situations, which is why it's a good Abare situation. That's basically what an Abare situation is if you guys haven't watched the video. So that makes it really good. So if you try to Eli Tech it, you can actually get punished for it. Now, if you read the opponent's going to make this stagger right, if you know for sure they're going to do the stagger 100%, and then if you go into your mid right away, that does beat them trying to backdash. So that is an option you have, but of course you risk getting hit by the follow-up hit. Now granted, the follow-up hit doesn't do all that much damage, so if you see they're going for all these little Abare tricks or whatever, then you can just challenge the stagger, and that is an option you can do. But again, that's a risk. And if your opponent wants to get cute and see that you're doing stuff like that, he can just cancel into this and get a full combo on you. And he also has the same concept with his 4-3. Like in this situation, he's -6. If you read that he's going to stagger and you go into buttons, Fujin has to hold that and he has to respect it. The reason why he'll be able to get away with it is because of follow-up of this string. Because like I showed you, you can actually react to the stagger. Like you can react to the fact that the follow spot gap is not coming out, and you can press a button before Fujin can press like poke or his mid or something like that. But Fujin does have plenty of time to backdash if you go for that OS, and if you try to advance with your mid, a poke or whatever, he can very easily do a micro backdash and just whiff punish you with this, and that leads to a full combo. So again, a very good Abare situation. But of course, the way you beat that is, if you know he's going to stagger, then you immediately press buttons, and then the only real risk you have is to be hit by his follow-up of this, which is not that big of a deal. If you get hit by it, it's some damage, but again, you have to guess. And also, if you try to do stuff like that, try to press buttons as soon as the stagger is over, he can actually just cancel into this and hit you. Now granted, like I showed, that's a risk, that's punishable, but he has options. So again, it's a very good Abare situation, the whole wheel of options that he has. And then this guy has amazing neutral. Like I think I mentioned this before, his back too. Look at this spacing, it's so good. And at the right spacing, he can do stuff like this. And honestly, he can hit confirm this into fatal blow. Not necessarily hit confirm it off nothing. If he sees you whiffing something, he can do this, hit you with fatal blow. And I mentioned this before with his amazing normals, he can slide under your projectiles, confirm that into fatal blow as well. So his neutral is amazing. And like I showed you before, he can actually make this string safe with this. If you're a character that can't punish him, he doesn't have to go into all the mix-ups that I showed that you can option select. He doesn't even have to bother with that. He can just always go for this, see, oh man, he blocked it, okay, I'll just go for the safe situation. If your character's not able to punish it, he can always just try to hit confirm and go for the safe option. I mean, look how much chip this crap does. This crap does a lot of chip. That's 40 damage of chip right there. That's 4% of your health gone just like that. And most characters can't punish that. Now the ones that can punish him, I think those are his bad matchups, honestly. But characters that can't, he does really well against. And also his back 1-1, if spaced properly, is a real Abare situation. Now like I said, if he does it in your face, you can just Eli Tech the crap out of that. That's not real whatsoever. But from back here, if you try to poke at the timing in which the follow-up pawn hits you, it's the poke's gonna completely whiff. He's gonna be able to backdash you and get a full combo on you. Now, of course, the way you completely beat that, since this is minus, if you disrespect his stagger, and as soon as you see him go for his back 1, and you make the read that he's gonna stagger, and you press buttons, yeah, for sure, he's not gonna backdash crap. If you do it fast enough, you're gonna get a full combo punished. But a smart Fujin won't do that all too often. They will establish that they like to do the string. So maybe you know this option select, maybe after watching this video especially. So you try to OS both options, you try to go in. Oh no, he just whip punished you with this back 1 because you tried to poke him a little bit too late. You didn't go instantaneously, you tried to OS a couple options. Bam, you got whiff punished. And this has ridiculous range. Like this goes pretty freaking far. It's actually a really good mid, to be honest with you. So I think Fujin has a lot going for him. I think he's a pretty good character. But now, as I showed all of his weaknesses that I can find. He has a lot of them. So if you don't use him properly, you're going to get punished. You don't want to do this crap up in their face. And honestly, characters that can punish this and that are good at option selecting with all the stuff that I showed, it's going to be a tough road ahead of you. So even though you can OS a lot of Fujin's things, Fujin still has a lot of legit stuff. Like all his Abare situations, those are real. His damage is pretty decent. Now, it is unfortunate, like I showed for his combos, he has to spend defensive bar. But even though he has to spend defensive bar, think of the meta right now. There's an armor break meta in this game. So having breakaway is not all that big of a deal, to be honest. You can't just break away out of combos anymore. If you break away, you can very easily just utterly die. So breaking away is not always the best thing to do against some characters. Now if you're fighting like a Sub-Zero or Scorpion, you can pretty much break away with impunity because they can barely do anything off their armor breaks because they're just so slow and pretty useless. But if you're going against like a Gearus, don't break, you will die. So basically what I'm saying is, even though he has to spend defensive bar on his combos, yeah, it's not a big deal. And he gets decent damage too. He always gets in the 300s. And the combo I did earlier in the video, that wasn't optimal. I ended the combo with 1-1 into the spike into this move. But you can actually do back 1-1 and get a little bit more damage. So you can do like 305, 310. So he's a pretty decently damaging character. You just have to have the execution. And you also have to be good at spacing. You have to know when to use this, when to use this and that. Keep yourself safe. Know the ranges you want to use back 1. Use it to whiff punish, stuff like that. And you can understand how to beat out Eli Tech. Like this completely stuffs any kind of option select you want to do with Eli Tech. Just that spacing makes it a perfect Abare situation. So Fujin is definitely one of the harder characters to use, to be honest. When I initially was recording this video, I was thinking, you know, he's a pretty easy character to use. Just hard combos, but really you have to be aware of spacing, when to use your meter. A lot of meter management because you need defensive bar to do some of your combos. Learn how to do the meterless combos because they're actually kind of hard to do, the meterless combos using this. So he has a lot to learn about him. I mean, he's not that crazy. It's really just fundamentals you gotta have. And I think some pro players are gonna show how good he really is in tournament. Now, of course, you know, like I said, I think Sub-Zero and Liu Kang are probably a counterpick to this guy because his safe options he no longer has. But even if he doesn't have the safe options, he has the legit mix-ups of the Abare situations that he has to utilize in his pressure. So anyway guys, that's about it for the video today. If you guys enjoyed, just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys next time.